Hey, what's up? Chad here, and I've got my space t-shirt on because we're going to talk about how to build trust in cyberspace. In particular, how do you build trust on a website? And for this video, I'm going to do something a little bit unusual compared to most of my videos. And I'm going to actually take you on a tour of our website and share the insights and pieces of advice that I received from people who were way smarter than me related to web design. Now, it's a little bit outside of my range because typically I'm helping some of the top universities and organizations on the planet amplify a culture of connection, belonging, and trust internally. So this idea of how to build trust on a website is super interesting to me. I'm not a web designer though. And so if anything, when I first got started and built my own website, it was a giant piece of garbage. And so now being in a place where I have lots of people smarter than me who are doing the copy editing and the design elements and whatnot, we're gonna just kind of take a preview of lessons that I've learned here. Stick around, can't wait to jump into it. Let's go. All right, in order to review a website, we should be on that website. So let's portal into Welcome to We and Me website. And here's the URL if you want to poke around for yourself. This is the current iteration of it, although we're always making improvements on it. So when you jump to the page right away, one of the things that I really missed in the first version of our website was it was all focused on us. It was all focused on me, as opposed to being focused on the customer, the client. And so right here it says recognizing, people hire us to make connection and engagement and communication easy, and recognizing they're doing that because it's hard. And so specifically, right here, we help leaders, educators, and events make connection and engagement easy. So wanting that to be really clear. Now, I will say, I think there are some sites, if you sell stickers, it's a little bit easier to be really concrete. When you sell, keynotes at virtual conferences and remote workshops, you want to be, I think, as literal and concrete as possible because cute can sometimes be confusing. Donald Miller in his book Storybrand always says, if you confuse, you lose. And I think that is immensely true. And I think there's also a nuance to that if you confuse, you also break down trust. So really clear two options right here. If someone's not ready for those two options, there's some interesting data here. This is a big piece of trust online, right? Social proof. You've seen it on lots of websites. But behind each of these, I have a story of how I worked with conscious capitalism and the University of Notre Dame and TEDx and Embry-Riddle and Starbucks and right. These have people and stories behind them. They're not things that I just put up there that I hoped look good. And so there's, behind this little graphic is groups and thousands of people that I've worked with and trained. And so that social trust of, I'm not the first one, they've worked with other people before is really useful. So here's a little bit of, the underpinning and the basis for our work, stats around trust and engagement and disengagement, etc. And then another huge piece, which you'll see riddled throughout our site, is video. I think video is one of the most rapport building, trust building things on the planet because it's the easiest way to asynchronously meet somebody else before you do business with them. I think you've probably heard the adage that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. It's like an overused phrase at this point. And you can't really know someone by just reading something on a web page. It's really hard. If you just read this, would you know me? Probably not. And yet video, if you want to build trust, I would invite you to up the bandwidth. So if you've got text, great. Can you get a video up there? Can you get even an animation up there? Can you get a picture up there, right? Up the bandwidth from definitely beyond just text. And then, so let's see, when you click into here, we have two kind of parts of our site, which is different than some. We've got a store because we sell these tools like, where are they? We Engage cards and the connection toolkit and all these other resources. So seeing them pictured up here is useful. This is a hugely trust building thing, and this is true. If anyone buys any of our tools for any reason, doesn't like them, we will just send them their money back. No questions asked, just placing our trust in customers that won't be abused. And have a couple people probably got free decks because they took us up on that and used the cards and loved them anyway. Maybe. But I'm okay with that because I think to earn trust, you've also got to give it out as well. And so for me, that's important. And this is put in our language and in a genuine way. Now, the other thing that I think is really, really useful to think about when you're designing a website is letting people know exactly what's going to happen next. This was advice given by our copywriter who wrote a lot of the copy for this website, Chris Danilo. And on a contact form, oftentimes these are like portals of mystery, right? You enter in your information, and then it just goes oh look, we're wearing matching shirts. I just have more hair in that picture. That's a shame. So when you enter in your email in this information, it's like, I don't know what will happen. And Chris gave us really sharp advice, which is to tell them what's going to happen next. We will respond within 48 hours. And in fact, if you're on our services page that unpacks, how, whoa, that's getting meta. YouTube video in a YouTube video. Whoa. So when you go through our services and unpack, give people a chance to digest what's written. At the bottom, if they want to reach out and actually get a quote for something, it specifically says we'll respond within 48 hours with pricing and availability. Right? So I know as a person, if I fill this in, I'm going to get pricing and availability within 48 hours. And that is very, very trust building. Here is the final tip that I'll offer. If you're trying to build trust on a website, it's happening all asynchronously, right? It's like somebody, like you invited somebody to the party and the party is your website, except you never showed up. And so they're just like in your house, like kind of looking around, making assessments, like, okay, is this person neat? Right? They're learning things about you. The best way to build interpersonal trust though is through conversation, being able to connect. And so if you or anybody else fills in this contact form within 48 hours, not only do we send them what we promised, I'll 99% of the time, if I'm not away from somewhere, or me will, or somebody on our team, will actually send a personalized video to you. Not like a stock video that we had to just auto send you. No, we will actually read your email, your context, what you've typed in here, and actually send you a tailored video. For that, we use loom.com. It's this brilliant tool. There's a plugin for Chrome. It gets embedded right into Gmail as well. So it just allows me to record a video, speak the person's name, say, respond to that email. And what a cool surprise. And client after client after client has told me, I filled out a contact form. I was thinking maybe I just get an auto-generated email back or something. And you sent me a video with my name in it. What? And you took some time to look at our website and poke around, right? That is where that trust comes in, where it says, where I'm able to say in that moment, even virtually, able to say, I see you, I care about you, I got into this work because I believe in the value of it, not because I just want to collect a fee and roll out. That is really trust building. Feel free, I know there's no way that our site is the most trust building website on the planet. It's just the one that I happen to know very intimately. And so if you've got other ideas, I'd love to create a library of great ideas on how to build trust in an online context in the comments below. So feel free to drop some info there. The one other bonus thing that I'll give you and an offer to you, if you go to weand.me/free, you will get, or /ideas, there's a whole bunch of free downloadable stuff. And this has been a huge benefit to our business. Since we added this tab, a whole bunch of people have said, who may not be ready to hire us or might want to learn a little bit more, might need to move up that know, like, and trust ladder, want free resources. They're in need. They're coming here to figure out how to make connection, communication, and engagement easy. And so seeing this free tab has been a really huge difference. Same with the FAQ. A lot of times this is something buried. And for us, we know that people want to know when their orders are going to arrive and how much do you cost and things like that. And so we put a lot of that information right in the frequently asked questions. This video was fun to record, a little bit odd and vulnerable to share our own website and some of that behind the scenes, and also atypical from my normal videos on how to actually just increase connection and engagement in your group, in your meeting, in your virtual or in-person conference. But I hope it was really useful. Can't wait to see you in cyberspace sometime again soon. If you liked this video, you will almost certainly love these videos. Were these videos? I can never remember which side they're on. Videos. Check them out. Cheers.